Welcome to this edition of the Ultimate Combat Experience. Mike standing here with the greasy biker, Todd Reed, my man. Got some fights going on tonight. What do you know about him?
Hey, Mike, I'm looking forward to this. Sugarloaf is back. He's going up against a guy we don't know too much about, John Silva.
That might be a good thing, though. Sugarloaf needs to get a win. He needs to get a win.
Hey, this one, it's going to happen for him. He looks tough.
You feeling it? All right. Well, Oliver Bradstreet and Patrick Upton in your main event. You definitely want to stick around for that one. It's the Ultimate Combat Experience coming right at you. All right, we're going to get things started with the big guys. And, boy, this kid looks a little bit unreal. Spencer Thompson, haven't seen him before, but he seemed like the perfect opponent for Bobby Stone. Now, Bobby Stone is also a member of our cage crew. We've seen a couple of our cage crew members hop into the cage this round. And here he is, Bobby Stone. This kid fights 3 packs of cigarettes a day. Not necessarily what I would call a fighter, but again, you sit cage side every week, week in and week out, and you get a little surly. You can start thinking, I can do that. And boy, Bobby, I don't know, man. This kid looks pretty tough.
Yeah, he looks pretty happy to be in there, but I don't know. Looking over at Spencer Thompson, I think Spencer Thompson is looking right through him.
Yeah, I think Spencer Thompson sees a big side of beef right there. You're going to have him for lunch. All right, we got a couple heavyweights going to do their thing here. Bobby wants to touch gloves, and Spencer wants to swing for the fences. I give Bobby Stone credit, man. He's coming at him. He's moving forward. He's smiling. He's eating a couple of shots already.
Yes, he has, and well, he keeps turning that head. He's going to get knocked in it.
Well, I think he was checking to see if the cage was secure over there.
Oh. He's doing 2 jobs tonight.
Yeah. Oh, buddy. This is not going to be pretty. We knew that coming into this. Bobby Stone, really with zero training other than that right there. He's really good at catching fists with his face. And he's happy to do so. Bobby,
Thompson's just going after him.
Bobby's a funny kid, man. He's a funny kid, but he was insistent on getting here and do this. Boy, I wonder what he's going through his head right now.
Should have stayed home sick, maybe. I don't know. And you can see there's doesn't look like a whole lot of conditioning's been going on, or maybe training. But still, I mean, to walk into that ring and throw fists with a guy that size.
Yeah, that's part of the problem. You being chubby like that, you're in the heavyweight division, and you got big, strong guys in the heavyweight division. And now, boy, I'll tell you what, Bobby's taken. I think he's had enough. He's looking for the door, trying to find his way out. And Dave Selye's said, "Come on, to stop to it," and that was right. Bobby wasn't going to argue about that. He's like, all right. You really have to know the kid to appreciate what just happened there. I'm proud of him for getting in there and doing it. Spencer Thompson going to get a big win and feel good about things. And, interesting. That's his girlfriend right there. They do the cage together. She's not really quite sure what just happened. I know what happened. You know what? Bobby just went through a rite of passage, and he got his first fight in. And you know what? God bless him for it, man. He ended up with a tough opponent here, but so be it. And hopefully we'll see both these guys come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. Mike, Darcy, and James Horne about ready to mix things up here in the welterweight division. James Horne, we don't know a whole lot about. We do know a little bit about his opponent, Mike Darcy. Mike Darcy's fought in the show quite a bit. We've seen him come in and do his thing, and he hasn't exactly fared very well in his exploits here in the cage.
No, he's like a few other fighters we have. They'll keep stepping up and getting back in there. It's always exciting to watch them.
They're good for some of these guys that are coming through to cut their teeth on. They're good for guys that are brand new to come in and fight against. They're not going to be overwhelmed by their opponents. James Horne here, as we know nothing about him. He says he's a street fighter, doesn't have any background, doesn't have any experience. So this seems to be a good matchup for both guys. Particularly Mike Darcy, maybe he might have a chance of getting a win here. Lonnie Foster giving the last-minute instructions to both these guys. And round number 1, here we go. Mike Darcy there in the black trunks with the yellow stripe. James Horne with the black trunks and the white stripe. James Horne throwing some big shots, and Mike Darcy better get his head up or he's going to take a little nap.
Yeah, I don't know what Darcy's looking at down there, but he's not going to find it. Or he just might.
Yeah, he might just find Sleepy Land. I tell you what, he's taking some big shots so far already, and James Horne's got to be feeling pretty confident right about now. Big uppercuts. Mike Darcy just trying to dodge him.
He's not doing a very good job at protecting himself.
No, he's not. He's certainly not. Got a tight clinch on. Trying to throw some knees. Didn't quite get to the mark where he wanted him to be. The best thing Darcy can hope for right now is that James Horne runs out of gas. That he comes out and he's throwing all these big bombs and he runs out of gas, and maybe Darcy can come back. Right here, took another big uppercut and wound up on his knees.
He dropped right to the ground.
Like a sack of potatoes. And now James Horne on top of Mike Darcy. Howard Darcy able to get around on top of James Horne. Horne pulling guard on him, keeps a nice tight closed guard, and see what Darcy can do from here on top.
Well, sometimes these guys get in here don't know exactly what to do. Pound it out for a minute, regain their composure, and
yeah, well, Mike Darcy just kind of hanging out in the guard of James Horne. James trying to work his way over for an armbar, not quite sure how to do it. Looks like he's trying to get it on, not quite able to get it. Darcy just hanging out in his very wide open loose guard too, not too worried about trying to pass or anything like that, just kind of hanging out there. A little bit of a hug fest going on, not a whole lot of action, not a whole lot of strikes. Darcy able to finally pass and is looking to put on a guillotine choke. And he has
like
put
he's
on,
got it.
oh my goodness. My goodness. Well, Christmas comes early some years, and Mike Darcy just got his Christmas present right there.
Not the most impressive fight, but a great match for, each other.
Yeah, that was a great matchup. But a win's a win's a win, and Mike Darcy got a win finally. It's been a little while. That's his girlfriend right there, Andrea. She's tough as nails. That girl can fight, and I don't know what she's dating that Darcy kid for, but she's tougher than him. I'll guarantee you.
I've seen her fight.
She's a tough chick. All right, wow. So look, James Horne came out and looked really impressive to begin. Just couldn't quite get it done in the end. And, look, Mike Darcy, man, I'm just telling you, sometimes the sun shines on a dog's behind, right? And this is what happened today. Look,
I think he heard you out there.
Darcy,
smile on his face.
He keeps coming back. I give him credit. He keeps coming back, and good for him. Gets a win under his belt. I guess it's going to take a little while before we finally make this thing official. Darcy, there we go. All right, he's the winner. Mike Darcy, your winner. And maybe they had to check. Maybe the judges said, "Are you sure Darcy won?" Yeah, Darcy won. Congratulations. Let's get things back up into the middleweight division with Mike Sugarloaf Crisman and John Silva. John Silva here coming out to do his thing. Now, John Silva's a big, strong kid, but doesn't have a whole lot of fight experience. And, you see Crisman lose on TV, and sometimes people say, "Give me that, Sugarloaf." And this is exactly what happened here. And I don't know what that advice was. Shave your beard.
Yeah, Sugarloaf might not win a lot of fights, but he sure bangs it out pretty good in there.
Oh, yeah, he absolutely does. That's Sugarloaf's girlfriend right there, and I don't know what she's thinking. She could do better.
There he goes.
Here comes the knucklehead.
I think one of these times he's going to take the cage down, and they'll just say fight's over, and he gets a win.
Such a ding-dong. But he makes a grand entrance, if nothing else. All right, here we go. So Mike giving up a little bit of reach here against his opponent, and Mike's used to that, though. He's usually smaller than these guys in the middleweight division, the 185-pound weight class. I think he should drop down, but, that would require exercise. All right, here we go. Round number 1, about to get started here. Mike Crisman going up against John Silva. John Silva throwing a couple leg kicks to get things started. Mike Crisman looking for that big shot. There it is, buddy. Boy, that was a nice right hand right on the button. Sugarloaf looking to finish with a takedown. And Silva doing what most beginners do, grabs his hand and hangs on.
That shook Silva up a little bit right there. That was a solid punch.
Beautiful punch right down the pipe, and understandably so, that shook Silva up. Silva doing a nice job underneath there, throwing elbows, and he's admonished for that. They're saying you can't throw those downward elbow strikes, which I think they're wrong. I think they're perfectly legal, but I see referees call that from occasion, and I don't know why. Crisman letting his opponent back up to his feet. John Silva going to get another shot at fighting from his feet with Mike Sugarloaf Crisman. What's he going to do with it? Mike looking for that big shot again. Once you hit that home run shot where it just cracks right on the button, you want to keep trying it, man. It's hard not to do. Nice knee there. Put a nice tight clinch on and a beautiful knee by Mike Crisman.
Looks like Silva wants to stay on the outside after receiving that punch. I don't think he wants to get too close to the Sugarloaf.
Yeah, he hasn't committed to too many of these kicks and punches since that point because he ran right into that shot, and it doesn't look like he wants to make that same mistake twice. There's a big right hand over the top, just missing, and then Mike Crisman landing a right hand of his own and then a left. Nice leg kick.
Taking his legs out.
Crisman really showing a lot of good composure and patience on his feet. Sometimes you get a guy that's wild like that.
I don't know what's
He's
going
so
on
fat
there.
he couldn't call on top. But that said, he's doing a pretty good job, and he's really doing some damage here. Nice knee to the head, foot stomp.
I think
Good
Silva's
stuff.
a little shaken up. He's missed a few punches there, and he turns his back really quick.
Yeah, and Sugarloaf finds himself on top in a dominant position here. Now he's raining down some punches. Sugarloaf says, let's get back on our feet where I punch you in the face again. I'd like to see either one of these guys work their jab just a little bit, work that front leg, front arm. You don't see a whole lot of that in this level of fighting. It's usually swing for the fence. But you start to establish a rhythm. You can, your fight game comes along, but neither one of these guys wanting to do that. Sugarloaf getting around behind and got his fat butt up there this time, just not quite. Humpty Dumpty, man.
And Silva with those long arms there, you think he'd want to clean those punches up just a little more. You can see him coming from a mile away.
Climb up on him again, Mike.
Going for a ride.
Yeah, that's Sugarloaf's fight right there. He knows to stand toe-to-toe. That's going to bring to a close round number 1, and Sugarloaf's loving that stuff.
He looks like he's feeling good.
All right, we got more of this craziness when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience, round number 2 of 3 scheduled rounds between Mike Sugarloaf Crisman and John Silva. I got to give round number 1 to Sugarloaf. He was the more effective puncher, landed some big shots, tried to climb up on Silva twice but fell back down. Well, Silva landed some decent lefts to the side of the head of Mike Sugarloaf, and Sugar doing a nice little foot stomp to retaliate.
Silva's going to keep that foot up in the air now. He didn't like the feel of that.
Oh, he sure didn't, and he's going to lift it up just long enough for Crisman to dump him on his side. Then once you lift that leg up, you lost your post.
Well, Sugarloaf's looking better than I've seen him in a long time.
It may have something to do with the level of his opposition, but yeah, I've mentioned this several times. He fights the toughest guys out there, and every now and then he gets a guy around his same level, and he looks really good against those guys. Nice takedown off the fence. That's something we've worked on with him. Very nice job. I think it's kind of funny. Sugarloaf has some Combat Cartel shorts on right there. There used to be a name of a sponsor above it, and they stopped sponsoring, so we got our black pen and blacked it out. Now it just says Combat Cartel. Showed them, right? All right, Sugarloaf got his opponent in kind of a rough spot. John Silva doing the best he can to cover up.
Sugarloaf looking for some words of advice from his corner.
Well, he's working for something. His whole submission thing's not necessarily his bag. But look at that. Oh, my goodness. That was a roll-through armbar, and he's got it on, except if you get that thumb pointed in the right direction, he'd be in good shape. He's got to keep things tight, curl his fade-out legs on his head. He's doing everything possibly wrong on an armbar that he could possibly do, but he somehow still has it, and he might get this thing.
He's not giving up.
No, he's not.
He wants that arm.
This is Sugar's type of submission. He's going to punch you until you submit. Oh, buddy. That's not even on correctly, and he's going to tap. His elbow is pointed up, and he needs to have it pointed down. Sugarloaf couldn't get his fat butt up on that cage either. That's the third time I've seen him try to crawl up on something today, and finally he made it to the top.
Yeah, buddy.
2 thumbs up and a finger point. There you go. All right, well, fine. Crisman got a win, and that's a good thing, right? Oh, there he goes again.
He's feeling good.
He's touched in the head.
Oh, boy.
Somebody told him he could dance. Whoever that was lied to you. Somebody told him he could fight, too, but at any rate.
Well, that's 2 wins in a row for him.
Sugar's on a roll. He's on a tear, if you will. And his opponent, John Silva, really upset about having lost to Sugarloaf. As well he should be. Everybody's consoling the loser over there. That's why we call it the ultimate combat experience. Sometimes you experience wins, sometimes you experience losses.
Sometimes it's just an experience.
Sometimes it's just an experience, Todd. You got that right. All right, Shugs, you got your big win, man. Go take care of that cute girlfriend of yours. Rolling right into Cole Rose and Cory Rassmussen, and I got to tell you, Cory Rassmussen, he wears a cop uniform around everywhere he goes, but he's not a cop. He's a security guard, but he wears a security guard uniform around everywhere he goes.
Free donuts.
Yeah, I guess, man. I don't know what it is, but going up against a kid who kind of likes to punch guys in cop uniforms. Cole Rose. Cole Rose has been on the seedier side of life in parts of his life, and other parts not so much. You can see the hand grenades there in case he gets into a real serious scuffle. But Cole's a tough kid. Cole used to weigh over 300 pounds, used to be obese, overweight, got into fighting, slimmed up. Interesting about that is so did Cory Rassmussen. Cory Rassmussen used to be very heavy. Both these guys got into fight training, trimmed them up, and now they just punch people. I have a funny feeling, though, that Cole's going to be better at this punching thing than Cory is. Cole, of course, been around for a little while. Cory, he's had a few fights. Never had too much success in the ring, in the cage, I should say, and not looking like he's going to have too much of it here either. This is just like shooting ducks in a barrel for Cole Rose.
That was a huge right by Rose.
Cole Rose actually fought in the very first Ultimate Combat experience. He fought in a kickboxing division as a 300-pounder way back in the day. We lost track of him for a number of years, I should say, and now he's back, and he's back in a big way, and Cory Rassmussen said, hey, stop punching me in the face, that hurts. Cole getting it done in short fashion. Interesting, this matchup was made because both these guys were super heavy, and they both, see, look how fat he used to be, and they both dropped a ton of weight to get down there. Similar backgrounds, but one of them took it a little more seriously than the other, that being Cole Rose, coming away with a big win tonight. Cory Rassmussen shaking his head, man. Should have moved that head a little more when those punches were flying at you. And Maybe things wouldn't have gone so bad for him.
Is he trying to figure out what happened?
And no, the announcer's making some funny comments about him, and Lonnie Foster's trying not to laugh. So, all right, man.
There you go.
Cole Rose, you finally get your big win, my man. Congratulations. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience. My goodness, the Menace has made his way back to the cage. It's been a little while since we've seen him. Oliver Bradstreet. Now, this kid was on a tear when he first started with us. He was a 3-time state wrestling champion, came in here, was just dominating the weight class. Then he had some heart problems. Like his doctor wouldn't let him fight because he had some heart problems. Got that all taken care of. Came back and had some brain problems. This kid's had every possible debilitating problem you could imagine, and somehow they let him back in the cage again, and here he is, ready to create some more havoc, going up against Patrick Upton. Now Patrick, they call him RVA. He's from Virginia. He's what would you call it, a straight edger or a skater kid from out there, just a tough kind of kid, but I don't think he's Ollie's level, and if Ollie's back to what he used to be, we'll have to see if Ollie's still what he used to be. Patrick's got his hands full tonight.
Yeah, this should be an interesting match. Both guys, pretty good shape. Bradstreet.
Bradstreet is Bradstreet. He's the Menace, and he's very menacing, and he's an amazing fighter. He was, and he, like I said, he's had some health issues. And Patrick Upton has been on a tear of his own. This is my house. Now, I've been in here tearing it up while you were off healing from your wounds or healing from your afflictions. So it's kind of one of those situations where Ollie says, you know what, I got to come back and let you know who's boss around here.
Yeah, they both look pretty happy. They looked around. A lot of ladies in the crowd today.
Yeah, that was Patrick Upton's sister, and she was a lot of people liked her around the show, man. She was a lot of fun. All right, touch of the gloves, and here comes Ollie. Oh, excuse me, that was Patrick that threw that ugly kick. That was not the prettiest kick I've ever seen, but there's what Ollie does. Ollie will take you down. Patrick will hit you in the process. So nice work by both guys getting accomplished exactly what they were trying to do. Patrick Upton looking to put on a guillotine choke. Boy, he's got that on pretty tight. You see Ollie's neck getting stretched through the hilt right there. Doing a good job of standing up and trying to loosen it by that slam. But, man, Patrick Upton's got this thing on. He's got it on pretty tight.
Yeah, he's hooked in there really good.
Sure
Bradstreet's struggling to get out,
goodness.
and he does.
His neck is 3 inches longer than it was when he started this fight, though. That's one thing about Ollie, though. He's a tough kid. You're not going to get him with a pain compliance type submission. You're going to have to choke him out, and I don't think Upton had that in the right position to get the choke out of it, although that was super painful getting his head out of there.
Inching him over to the side of the cage there.
Yeah, Ollie's he's pretty cage savvy. He knows what he's doing. He knows where he's at, and he knows what he's doing, and did a nice job. Now he's got Patrick Upton's back. Patrick is in trouble himself. Now Patrick's got to go start worrying about his neck. Ollie Bradstreet crossing his feet right there. A big no-no if you know much about jiu-jitsu. Although Patrick Upton didn't recognize it and wasn't able to capitalize. He did get him off his back, however. Only short-lived. Ollie's right back on his back.
Well, both of these guys are scrambling right now.
Yeah, they're both very similar in that regard. They're very scrambly. But I think Ollie's just a little bit better. He's that kid that's just going to wind up in the better position at the end of the day because he's just super good at what he does. Nice, big right hands to the body.
He just takes a little look around to see who's watching and
trust me, he was winking at some girl in the audience. Ollie never stops thinking about girls. Nice work there. Not able to keep his position, though. Patrick Upton making things very difficult for him. And I got to tell you, if these two had fought each other when they both first came into this show, Ollie would have walked right through Patrick Upton. Patrick has really come a long way while Ollie was gone, and Ollie was gone taking care of, obviously very serious health issues. But boy, Patrick has come a long way, and he's given Oliver Bradstreet all he can handle right here. In fact, he's going to reverse him right here. And boy, that's amazing, because Ollie is one of those kids that just doesn't give up position like that. That was a very nice job.
A little bit of back and forth. He's got a
Ollie's
leg.
looking for a leg lock here.
Big left.
All right, that's going to bring it close to round number 1. Somebody's mouthpiece is on the floor. Not sure quite whose. It looks like it's Ollie's. And these guys, look at old Matt. He's had a rough day, too. All right, I'm back to their corners here. And we got round 2 when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience, round 2 of 3 scheduled rounds between Oliver Bradstreet and Patrick Upton. Ollie the Menace, I think, won round number 1 just because he was busier. He wound up in the better positions, was able to land some pretty decent shots on the ground, stayed busy throughout. Although Patrick Upton gave him all he could handle right there, an exchange of kicks to the head, but Oliver Bradstreet doing what he does, and that's finishing that takedown.
Yeah, he's just pushing on. He's really giving Upton the Emperor's money here.
They call him the Menace for a reason. He's just so menacing. He's constantly moving, constantly doing something. You don't really get a respite when he's on top of you or when he's underneath you. He's always working on something. And that goes for inside the cage and outside the cage. He's like a little gnat in the gym. He comes around, he never stops, and he doesn't shut up, and he just keeps on bugging you. But he works hard, and this is what that hard work does right here. It makes you tough as nails.
Paying off tonight.
Absolutely. He's just outworking Patrick Upton. Upton has really come a long way in his game, as I mentioned earlier, but Oliver Bradstreet is just outworking him. You can clearly see the brain damage or the heart damage. That no longer is a factor. Oliver Bradstreet just doing his thing and doing it in a big way.
I think it might just put a fire underneath him.
Maybe he does. A kind of guy like Oliver, it wouldn't surprise me, because, he's that kind of kid. You're going to try to keep me down, I'll show you kind of thing. And you see old Dave Selstad inching his way in there. Those are huge knees. Those are very, very painful. Those are liver shots, too, right to the right side
and
there.
He's working both sides.
He said, why not make both sides red? And then just punch and continue. He's non-stop violence coming out of Oliver Bradstreet. And, boy, Patrick Upton starting to wilter. You can tell his will has been taken from him, where he's just not going to be able to get up and fight from this anymore, I don't think.
Yeah, with those big blows to the side from the knees, that takes a lot out of you.
And here comes that full rear mount, and here comes a choke attempt. And it's going to be a lot easier when Patrick Upton really doesn't have the will to fight anymore. You can see in his eyes he doesn't really have the will to fight this up. I think he's gonna give in to this thing right here. And if all he could just get his hand where it needs to go. Well, you know what? Never say die with Patrick Upton. He's a fighter. But he's a fighter taking a lot of shots right here, and I don't think Dave Selstad is going to stand for too much more of this. A lot of blood, a lot of gore. This thing's getting real ugly real fast.
Mess.
Yeah. Ollie using a half Nelson and pounding away with those elbows. This is getting real ugly. I don't know what Dave had to get around to the other side for. We're going to see more of it. Now, there you go. There's your choke. That's done. Yeah. And I think Patrick wanted to tap from the strikes, but no real man taps to strikes. So he rolled around and said, "Here, grab here, so I can tap to a submission."
He's a mess.
He's a mess, but he's a tough mess, man. That kid, I promise you, he'll be back in the gym next week. He's a tough kid. And again, he's come a long, long way, but it's a long way from where he wants to be, that's for sure. And if he wants to be on Oliver Bradstreet's skill level, he's got a little ways to go. See right there. The nice thing about Upton, he's got a lot of good people around him. He'll stick with it. I can guarantee you that. He's got a great support mechanism. That's his girlfriend and his sister right there. Both of them obviously very kind of shaken by seeing Patrick in that kind of condition. But look, he's that tough kind of guy, man. He's not going to be shaken by this. And here you go. Let's see. Let's make this thing official. I think we're about ready to do that. Oliver Bradstreet feeling good about things. And he brought a pretty good group of people in here to watch him tonight, too. Good energy in the room as a result. Patrick always brings a good crowd, so it makes for an electric room when you got two guys with a whole lot of friends here to support him. And, there's a little bit of pride on the line, if you will. The new guy versus the old guy, old guard versus new guard. And there you have it. The old guard comes back and reclaims his territory. Oliver Bradstreet, your winner tonight in the Ultimate Combat Experience. Roll this baby right into your main event. This main event features a couple of middleweights, Jason South and Josh Lannon. Now, let me tell you something about this Jason South kid. He's good. He's a black belt level jiu-jitsu practitioner with outstanding striking from his feet, going up against the kid and Josh Lannon, who owns his own karate school. He's a tremendous striker on his own account. I'm not so sure he has the same level of ground experience as Jason South, but he's a tough kid. There's no doubt about it. And he's got a good repertoire of hand and feet, and stand-up striking is exceptional. I think this is going to be a fun fight to watch. There's Josh Lannon there, and he's the older brother of Jason Lannon. We saw Jason fight last week. Jason got beat by the blanket Matt Stoddard. And Josh Lannon said, well, Josh was in his corner, says, I've got to step in here and show him how the family does these things around here. Clearly, Josh is the tougher of the two. Jason, looks like there's Jason right there. He's got still some red marks on his face from last week. And here we go. Dave Selly said your referee for this contest. It is middleweights, and it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a good one. We got two good fighters here. They both look pumped.
I'm pumped. I'm excited for this fight. These are a couple guys that bring it, and Jason South is as pretty to watch as they get, and there you go,
nice
Lannon
punch
coming
by
out
Lannon.
with a nice kick and a punch,
and
another punch. I told you his striking was pretty good, and that's against a guy whose striking defense is not bad. So nice early going for both guys. And South trying to get that takedown. Lannon getting a little bit of an advantage by hanging on to the fence. Dave Selly said out of position, wasn't able to stop that. And looks like Lannon looking for a guillotine choke. Doesn't quite have the low. Well, he's working on full on a guard pull. Lannon should let go of the head, in my opinion, and let's regroup. Let's go back to something else. Lannon was doing a great job on his feet. If he can find a way to get out from underneath and get back up on his feet, he'd be in good shape.
Yeah, I don't think South was having any of that.
No.
He'd had enough of the kick and
South
punch
has
in the head.
Full mount position now. And Lannon just kind of hanging onto the head. Nice reversal. I didn't see that coming. I'm not sure where all that blood's coming from. It looks like the knee of Jason South. It's a very maybe it's not. Somebody's head is cut open.
Looks
that's
like
what
South's forehead.
Yeah, South's forehead is cut open, and that's from those elbows. The point of that elbow will slice you wide open, and the head bleeds a lot, folks. Don't be too alarmed by this. He's not really hurt per se, but the head will bleed a lot, and it really looks bad.
And this makes it difficult for when they get on the ground.
Nice
you get
right
so
hand.
Slick, it's hard to dig in and hold on with all that blood.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, buddy, nice left hand. And Josh Lannon doing a great job. Landed on top this time. Jason South pulled him right on top of him. Nice reversal there. That's what happens when you stay parallel. You've got to get out perpendicular there. Now looking for a shoulder choke. He's got to bring that right hand up toward his own temple and sit. He's turned the wrong way. You want to sit with that. Yeah, he's not going to get that, I don't think. Josh Lannon's found a little nook where he's able to breathe, and there you go. So South gives up on it and starts to go to striking, which is the right move to do. However, don't let this kid back up on his feet, man. He is dangerous.
Lannon's struggling a little bit to get it back up on his feet.
Jason South making things difficult, keeping those legs out from underneath him. Boy, what a great fight so far, though. Both these guys come out really throwing all kinds of of amazing stuff. You've seen some great ground work on the ground for Jason South, and you've seen some great stand-up from Josh Lannon. Good stuff both ways.
Yeah, these guys are both digging in.
There you go, Dave. Suystead. Well, it looks like it's the end of the round. So these guys showing a little respect for one another, a little smack on the face, a little love tap. I like it. And looks like we're going to see a second round. I'm interested to see. Well, it looks like there's a nice little cut over Josh Lannon's eye as well. We got round 2 when we come back. Welcome back to the Ultimate Combat Experience, round number 2 of 3 between Jason South and Josh Lannon. Boy, oh boy, round number 1 was amazing. If you missed it, go check your DVR, man. It was an amazing show. Oh, just missing with a big left hand is Josh Lannon, and Jason South able to get underneath and secure a takedown.
By South.
Yeah, this is where South wants to be. He wants to be on the ground, not up standing at the end of those punches and kicks of Josh Lannon. Nice work there. Oh, my goodness. Nice reversal. Josh Lannon's ground game is much, much better than I knew it to be, because Jason South is no joke. His jiu-jitsu is on par with some of the best guys in the state. And Josh Lannon has taken position away from him on a couple of occasions now. Yeah,
this is turning out to be a great match between these two guys.
Absolutely, where South is actually hanging with Lannon on his feet, and Lannon's actually hanging with South on the ground. It's a great matchup, and both these guys are outpacing themselves in areas of the fight that they shouldn't be. So nice work on both ends. Getting a little bit tired, you can tell. Look at South, though, man. He is turning it on right now, wanting to finish this fight. Nice flurry. Lannon doing a pretty good job of slipping some of those punches, but, man, he's taking the brunt of most of them. Nice big knee right there, some uppercuts. A relentless flow of strikes from Jason South, and he really made Josh Lannon pay for wanting to go back up on his feet.
Lannon's not slowing down at all.
No, but that was an amazing flurry of strikes, and understandably so. Jason South looking to maybe get his breath back a little bit after that flurry, because he put it all out there for a good 15 seconds. Hey, look, I have no problem with this delay in the action right here. These guys have really let it all hang out, and they need to catch a little wind right here. No problem whatsoever.
What a great main event tonight.
Oh, absolutely. All night. It's been a great night of fights building up to this amazing matchup here, though. Josh Lannon's folks, they know him to be the toughest guy on the block. Jason South's folks, they know him to be the toughest guy on the block. And two blocks collide right here. And somebody's going to come out the short end, and then it's going to be interesting to see who that is. Oh, my goodness. What a flurry by South. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Josh Lannon comes up with a big left hand of his own. Both of them got rocked in that exchange. I saw both knees knuckle on both guys, man. And South finally able to get it down to the ground, and I think both guys are happy with that. Both guys want to take a little breather. Nice work from both these guys. Jason South finishing the round on top. But, man, again, both these guys have total high regard for one another. And why shouldn't they, man? They both really have a lot of heart. They have got a ton of skill. This is one of those fights that you wish for. And the fans are really getting their money's worth tonight in their main event.
Yeah, it's always nice to see that good sportsmanship, too. It's one thing to beat someone down, but when that bell stops,
you stick your hand out and help him up.
Absolutely.
That, to me, that's what this sport's all about. That's what I love about MMA. And that's how it is most of the time. You get a few ding-dongs that come in here and give us a bad name, but for the most part, yeah, that's what MMA is, man. It's a camaraderie ship. It's a brotherhood. You know, as I've said many times, less than 0.1% of the human population knows what it feels like to hear those cage doors shut behind you. It's an amazing adrenaline dump. You'll never feel more alive in your life than the moment that happens. And these guys are experiencing it. They're not only experiencing it a little bit, they're experiencing it to the fullest potential. And here we go. Round number 3. These two guys have given us an absolute war. Let's see what they've got left in the tank. Josh Lannon seemed to be taking some shots. I think he's just, I don't know that he's got much left. Jason South coming out and really putting it to him. Not super accurate in that striking, but it was overwhelming. It was to the point where he was able to get inside, get hip control, and get a takedown. Lannon's hanging on to that head, and I really don't hate this move right here. I usually am a guy that says let go of the head, but right now he's trying to get a little breather right here, and you've got about 2 minutes left in this fight. Get your win back. Save up for one final burst, because you're going to need it. You're going to need a final burst, some explosion from underneath to get out from underneath, and then hopefully you can do something from there. Like I said, I don't necessarily hate this move, but he's going to have to now change gears here in a moment. He's going to have to now open up and look for that burst.
Yeah, and anytime South sees the opportunity to throw some punches in there, he's doing it. He's making quick work of those ribs.
He's looking for that arm triangle once again on the far side, but in the meantime, he's throwing some nice knees to the body, really setting it up. Now some big shots from up top. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think this he's in trouble. Lannon's in big trouble. South has position, and he's got energy. Yeah, and he gave up his back right there. This fight is over. Dave Sully said has seen enough. Dave has to go in and throw that shot. He kills me, man. He wants to fight too, man. These two guys, look at them. They're not even getting up. They're just going to lay there tangled up.
Yeah.
That was a fun fight. The fans really got what they came to see tonight. These guys put it on for both. They both did. I mean, it was an amazing
awesome fight.
No better way to finish the evening. That totally exemplified MMA to me. That's what mixed martial arts is all about. It was a test of will. It was a test of power. It was a test of strength. It was a test of training. All this, everything, every aspect of it. We put it to the test tonight, and one guy came out on top, but I don't see anybody coming out on the bottom, man. That was just an amazing feat for both guys. Came out and really put it out there for the fans.
Great matchup, those two guys.
Yeah, good stuff. And, what happens next? And does Josh Lannon stick around and do more of this, or has he proven what he had to prove here today? Does Jason South stick around? Where does he go from here? I know he's got some big shows knocking on his door, so I'm excited to see what happens with him. Rumor has it, that the UFC's been in contact with him. So, man, you might have been seeing the making of a star right here, and hopefully Josh Lannon continues to be a star in his own right. I mean, he can come back in here, and trust me, he's a kid that can beat most guys in this division. Jason South just happens to be that guy that made things so tough for him. And there you have it. It's official. Dave Sully said with a raise of the hand, Jason South, your winner by referee stops contest in the third period. Amazing fight, and once again, hats out to both these two guys. Oh my goodness! I think a cow just flew over the moon or something. I don't know the analogy. Crisman won a fight.
I'll tell you what, Sugarloaf, submission. Way to go, buddy.
The end is near. Well, I was excited to see Oliver Bradstreet get in and do his thing, and he did do his thing. That kid's a tough kid. Hey, man, that's why they call it the Ultimate Combat Experience. We got more of this stuff every week, man. Tune in. We'll see you next week on the Ultimate Combat Experience.